welcome to Rev Sports South. And I'm joined by our team in Paris. Just a second, there's an echo. Requesting everyone to please mute themselves. Okay, yes. So I'm joined by our team in Paris, Boria and Abhijit, and Bharat Ramraj is also joining us as well. Uh, in the blink of an eye, India's Olympic campaign has come to an end with 6 medals in total, which includes 5 bronze medals and 1 silver. We'll be looking back on the journey of Indian athletes in the Olympics and also talk about what is expected from Vinesh Phogat's plea against UWW. Boria, over to you first. If you could sum up the campaign in a few words, how would you describe it?
See, it was an underwhelming campaign in terms of the medals. Everybody thought it will be 10 or more, and even if it's not the greatest of Olympics, it will be around 8, 9. Now you end up with 6, and that too without a gold. So in that sense, it's underwhelming. Having said that, if you then take into account and dive deeper, so on the surface, 6 medals not acceptable. Clearly, you want progress. Post Tokyo, you and when you have an Asian Games of 107 medals, you need to go get better. If you want to become an Olympic sporting nation, the number cannot be 6 or 7. It has to be 15 or 20. So that's the ballpark. That's the yardstick. Having said that, when you then take a deep dive, so there are two things to it: surface and deep dive. When you take a deep dive, all of a sudden you are like, isn't this sort of a relative progress? Because then you have a Nishant Dev, then you have a Meera Chanu, then you have a Vinesh Phogat, then you have an Arjun Babuta, then you have a Manu Bhakar with the shoot off, then you have 6 fourth place finishes, and then you have number of such athletes who are there and not there. Then you have a Lakshya Sen, and you're like, are we that bad? Is has it been that underwhelming? Table tennis, the two girls making it to the 16, beating Romania. There have been serious silver linings there in the campaign. So overall, when you take a look, it has some things that are positive, some that are negative. There are, no questions that there has to be accountability. There has to be more adaptability going forward. There has to be focus on mental conditioning. There has to be serious investment in terms of increasing the number of athletes who are here from 117 to 350 for LA. More bodies on the line means more medals, more qualifications. Obviously, you will get better. At the same time, take for athletics. How is it that people come to Paris and then not even do their season's best? They do less than their personal best. The athletics campaign, except an Avinash Sable and a Neeraj Chopra, obviously, and to an extent Parul Chaudhary, has been a disaster. So you have to take a look at the athletics campaign and ask, how is it that everybody performs below their personal best and season's best? So this is an interesting, a very complex maze. I think Indian sport can get better, will get better, but there has to be questions of accountability, and it is always a collective.
Absolutely. And Abhijit, in a way, like Boria said, that there are two things to it: the surface and whatever goes on inside and whatever has happened. 7 fourth place finishes, but whatever has happened, I think this is one of the most memorable Olympics so far, and I think this will be remembered for a long, long time coming. Abhijit, what has
Yeah.
your experience been?
Uh,
Yeah.
See, when you compare it, I mean, you normally compare it with the last Olympics. Tokyo was 7, and then 7 was like, par for us. I was like 7. I would say 8. 8 was possible for us. And if you see the performance, we could have even, gone in double digits, which was a realistic chance. I would say it's a bit disappointing performance, because at the end, what matters is the medals. Fingers crossed, Vinesh Phogat verdict is still yet to be announced. If that happens, we will have same number of medals at the uh, at Tokyo, but we don't have gold this time. I mean, if you see the medal tally, gold matters, and it gives you a humongous boost. But there have been good performance. I mean, I agree with respect to the medals. Yes, it's disappointing, but there have been good performance. Shooting has been tremendous. 3 medals. Ramita Jindal in the final. Arjun Babuta fourth finish. Even Manu Bhakar was fourth in 25-meter sport pistol. Our skeet mixed team did well. So I think shooting has done phenomenally. Yes, they were a bit disappointing, let's say, from badminton, boxing as well. Uh, but overall, if you see, it's looking in a good shape. I'm sure. I think what need to happen is the athletes need to maybe document or uh, have the points what they have experienced at the Olympics, share it with all the bodies, be it SAI or Sports Authority of India, government, whatever possible, so that the countdown for the LA has started from now. You just can't wait 1 or 2 years before LA. You have to start it now because you know. And Abhinav Bindra says Olympic is not every 4 years; it's every day. That's how it is. You have to start it now. See all matches, qualification tournaments you play, because you'll get opportunities to qualify the Olympics 2 years before. For example, the Asian Games, obviously the men's and women's hockey team, if they win gold, they qualify for the LA 2028. So that's how it is. Even the World Championship for athletics or any other, they qualify at least an year before, and this is the time you step into that. And a lot of learnings, like especially in the case of Vinesh Phogat, I would say again, this it should be there should be a management system where everything is noted. Maybe I think we need more of a protocol manager who's following all the steps. That will make sure we don't make such blunders at the next Olympics, and assured medal we lost. So I think these all things will help at the next any international tournaments.
Bharat, you can always predict how many medals our athletes can win, but on the day, it can be anyone's day. So in reality, we can't really go and guarantee a medal before anyone plays a match. But what did you think of this campaign throughout?
Yes, that's true. But some of those athletes, perhaps, see, I can't. I'm sitting here and saying, but it seemed like some of those athletes perhaps didn't give their best in the semi-final or in the bronze medal match. For example, Lakshya Sen. If you look at how he has played against Zia in the past, if you look at how he has played against him in All England Championships, I watched the 4 or 5 of their matches, and it was clear that Lakshya Sen is the better player when he plays against him. I'm nothing against Zia, but when the matchup happens, Lakshya Sen has more weapons against Zia. But it so happened that he won the first game quite easily, and he was leading 8-3. From there, just didn't play at his best, and he lost his way. So some of these results. You look at and think, yeah, the player might have played better maybe in that big match. They didn't exactly played their best, even with the Satvik Chirag. If you look at how he played against the Malaysian pair, yeah, the Malaysian pair had won the first 7 or 8 of their matches, but this pair had won 3 of their last matches against that Malaysian pair, and they were all again leading in the final game. They ended up making some costly errors. So that is where the disappointment is. When it came to the crunch situation, some of them, I'm not saying all of them failed, but some of those athletes perhaps didn't raise their game. That is when you have to seize the moment and go on to win the medal. And unfortunately, it happened like that. But there were still some golden moments. Yeah, shooting Manu Bakar was outstanding, as you know, with 2 medals. Even if you look at hockey, yeah, there's a little bit of disappointment. In my opinion, at least in my humble opinion, in the 30 years of hockey that I've watched, Indian men's team, right from the right from the World Cup in 1994 in Australia, this is the best I've seen the Indian team play. So when you are in that zone, perhaps you have to go on to take the next step. You have to take the next step and go on to win the gold itself. India had a chance because Belgium were out. They were beaten by Spain. So one of the favorites was out. Australia was out by the semi-final stage. So only Netherlands, I think, was that big team. I think India could have beaten Germany. The small disappointments are there, but still consecutive medals at Olympics for the men's hockey team. That's great because it has come on AstroTurf with the great respect to teams from the past. This is different. AstroTurf, India have really struggled on AstroTurf for long. So 2 Olympic medals. That's a good sign as well. So this is a mixed bag. Some disappointments and some good moments.
Yeah, there's a good question here by Siddharth for you, Boria. He's asking, Boria sir, what sports do you think we should target in highly ambitious ways to put all efforts for gold, no mediocrity? I think shooting, wrestling, badminton, even archery. Thoughts?
I, I've been saying this for a long time. You target sports where there are multiple medals. You target sports where the number is way more. Take a look at Britain. They targeted cycling. They targeted such kind of sports where the number of medals are way more. So when you target a hockey, hockey will always be an Indian passion. It is one gold medal. 6, 7 matches, one gold medal. Hockey is a passion, I understand. But think about something like shooting, think about something like wrestling, think about something like swimming. Swimming, I understand you will not get close that easily. But the moment you target sports like this, your chance becomes way more for medals. And you know, in India, there is enough and more talent in boxing, enough and more talent in wrestling, enough and more talent in shooting. I think India should target 10 medals from shooting in LA, at least. At least. If you're a powerhouse, why not? You've qualified in 21 with 21 athletes, highest is 24, 28 events you are participating. Now go get the 10 medals. If you have got three, if you had a Ramita Jindal, Arjun Babuta, Manu Bhakar, Sarabjot Singh, so you had four more finalists or almost. You had a shoot off. What tells you that you can't win 10 medals in LA? That is what should be the target. Make some sports your own. And some of your shooters, think of a Tilottama Sen. She's 14, man. She's 14. And look at the talent base there. A Mehuli Ghosh, a Tilottama Sen, they miss out. A Shriyanka Sadangi and an Ashi Choksi, they miss out.
Rudrangshu Patil.
It is Rudransh Patil missing out on the 10-meter air rifle is one of the most stunning developments. Sarab, unfortunately, Sandeep couldn't do much here. But that shows you the amount of talent that you have. And I'm sure Rudransh will make a comeback for the Asian Games and going forward. He was your first to qualify with 6:33.4 for the
And
Olympic
a
Games.
gold at the World
So,
Championship.
in the World Championship. So, shooting, you should target at least 8 to 10 medals in LA. At least in wrestling, I hope your mess is now solved with at least a body. Vinesh Phogat is proof that you can do anything. Aman Sherawat is proof. Ritika Huda is enormously talented. So why not 4 or 5 medals from wrestling? Then you get two. There are sports in badminton. I don't see any reason why Satvik and Chirag will not be a contender. Why Laksha Sen will not be a contender, Priyanshu Rajawat will not be a contender. Women singles, I understand you have no one, and that's a problem for me. Why is it that we don't have anybody after Mira in weightlifting? Mira will be 32, 33. She can still do it at Asian level. She can. I mean, 200 kilos, and in that weight category, she will continue to be a contender between 200 kilos and 202 kilos. So proper accountability and focus needs to be there, because India now has arrived at the Asian level. One further leap to push that 107 medals 10% into an Olympic quota, Olympic count. It can happen, Gargi. It can absolutely happen. I mean, archery. Dheeraj Bomadevara is a world class archer. Anybody says anything. Anybody. The way he shot that individual, the way he shot that mixed event, he is a top quality archer. Groom Dheeraj Bomadevara for the big stage. So you can. I mean, I'm pretty hopeful. I always look at the glass as half full rather than half empty. I think we have a serious opportunity in multiple events, and win everywhere. Make winning a habit. Go win your Grand Prix, go winning your World Cups, your World Championships. Get the quota as soon as possible. Moment the next cycle starts within 1 hour, 1 year. Go win as many in Commonwealth. Go win as many in Nagoya in Asian Games, because Asian Games, look at shooting. All of the Asian powerhouses will be there, including the Chinese, the Koreans, and that's what it is. Some sports dominated by the Asians, so you can judge yourself there and then come back for LA.
I just like to add here, we should also, compete more in sports like fencing. Yeah. Fencing has 12 medal events. We had only one Bhavani Devi in Tokyo,
Yeah.
no one at Paris. But such sports, and I can understand there are some other sports where you would need, it's a expensive sports, but fencing is not that expensive. And I can see, I'll tell you, when I covered a state Maharashtra fencing competition in my hometown Jalna, Maharashtra, about 350 fencers were present. So you can imagine there's a good interest in fencing. And I think fencing is one sport which can give you medal. It's tough, but uh, it is possible. 12 medal events. I think India should target it from now, so that not LA, maybe Brisbane, we can have a good opportunity, finishing near the podium.
Yeah. Before I go to Bharat, there's a question that I'd like to answer. Champions is saying USA gold medalists started their practice for LA 28, but our bronze medalists doing ad promotion. That's the mindset we want to change. You see, champions USA, all the athletes were throughout the Olympics. They were so active on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, making fun reels and all of that. I just wonder if Indian athletes did that, they would get absolutely trolled on the internet. Ki, ओलंपिक्स की जगह ये क्या कर रहे हो, तुम तो ये बना रहे हो. USA athletes were eating muffins and doing all of that. If Indian athletes had done that, uh, there would be बवाल मच जाता है इंटरनेट पे. So I think we should not really get into that. That's their, they also have to do other things, other commitments as well when it comes to ad promotions and all that.
Uh,
But
Gargi,
yeah,
I just like to add one question to Burida. Burida, you think there should be changes in the coaches as well? Because I would not like to name the coach, in especially the shooting. Uh, Rio, Tokyo, and then at Paris haven't won a medal. I mean, the shooter he was coaching. Do you think? I mean, just not taking a name, but do you think overall we should also have some changes in the coaching?
Look, sport is all about accountability. I know who you are talking about, but it is also about the individual shooter who opts for a particular coach and have to be sort of made comfortable. Having said that, whether it is any coach, eventually you have to deliver. You have to deliver because you are here to deliver. You are here to deliver top quality performance. And I understand in a first Olympics, oftentimes the shooters at least, you take a second Olympics. That's how the pattern is. Take Manu
Yep,
Bhaker, it's
yep,
a second
yep.
Olympics. Abhinav needed a third. Gagan needed a third. Now with advanced exposure and world championship and all that, you need a second. So someone like a Sif Samra, someone like an Isha Singh who you're referring to, someone like all of these shooters, once, I think they will keep getting better now for LA. This entire crop that had come here, except a few were first timers. This
Yeah,
entire crop has the ability, and how old are they? 18, 19, 20, 21,
yeah,
22.
yeah. The
That crop.
athletes I can completely understand. Is
Yeah,
sometimes
so
the
then you have to
coaches.
see for coaches also. You have
Yeah,
to see
yeah,
for so Jaspal. Jaspal did not do. Jaspal and Manu had that public tick off in Tokyo. If anybody would have come to me and said Jaspal would deliver like this year, you remember, the whole
yeah,
Manu Bhaker public spat with Jaspal was the most unsavory
yep,
public spat, was the
yep,
most negative public spat. Both of them did manage to come together, show maturity, and
yep.
deliver in Paris. So one expects that, and that is not simply from one coach, it is from every coach. When I think of wrestling, Vinesh has Akos and world class coach and all that. Deliver,
Yep.
deliver. Don't come and tell me that we were not able to figure this out. Every other country is also dealing with the same rule.
Correct.
It is not as if that India is dealing with one rule and someone
Yeah.
else is not dealing with another rule. We botched up Antim. We botched up Antim. Antim is a world class athlete. We botched up Antim.
Yep.
When she went there, she had no energy, no strength left. What are you talking about? Now get these basics right so that our athletes don't fail in these kind of little things. And now when you think of Antim, you think she's been deported and family deported and what a negative campaign. But she's an outstanding wrestler, for God's sake. She's 20 years old. Get to her, give her the mental this thing, back her, let her come back and start winning again. That's where India needs to get better. There has to be collective accountability of this whole sporting system, because and even for fans, like नीरज ने क्या कहा उस दिन कि देखो नाराजगी तो जायज है, बट आप ये 4 साल हमारे साथ रहो ना, हम जो कॉम्पिटिशन्स खेलेंगे हमारे साथ रहो, उसके बाद नाराजगी जताओ. एक ओलंपिक्स के समय आके नाराजगी जता दिया फिर चले गए, फिर 4 साल बाद आ गए, ऐसे तो सही नहीं होता है. आप सारे एथलीट्स के साथ रहो, सात्विक चिराग पे आप नाराजगी जताना चाहते हो करो, बट फिर जब वो सुपर सीरीज जीतेंगे, जब वो वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप जीतेंगे, तब खुशी भी दिखाओ, तब सेलिब्रेट भी करो ना. दैट इज द स्पोर्टिंग जर्नी दैट यू आर पार्ट ऑफ. which is important in India. I think we can get there.
Okay. Yes. Bharat, I'd like to ask you, uh, when you think of the positive takeaways from India's campaign, what are, the top moments that come to your mind?
Yeah, obviously, shooting is one of them. We already mentioned. Yeah, maybe next Olympics we can do even better. But looking at how India did in shooting over the couple of Olympics in 2016, 2021, Tokyo Olympics, that's definitely a positive to take. Yeah, hockey as well, two consecutive medals, bronze medals, yes. But two consecutive medals on AstroTurf, I think that's a great sign. As I noted, this team had it in them to even win the gold. That's what I feel. But that's okay. Two medals, consecutive medals. That's great. There are some disappointments as well, as I noted in badminton and a few other things. But I think shooting and India's performance in the hockey, especially the way they beat Australia, I think that has to be one of the highlights of this Olympics, because Australia has always troubled India. They have a 99-25 record against India in hockey, men's hockey, and we had not beaten them in men's hockey since 1972 Olympics. So that was great. And the way Vinesh Phogat performed, yeah, whatever happened afterwards is secondary, but the way she performed, no one really, not many at least expected her to win that first round. From there on, to go and perform that's great to watch. I just want to add one more point. Uh, Boris sir was talking about players getting that kind of support. Someone like Antim, even after she loses, after she gets deported. Think of Saurabh Chowdhury as well. He was the invincible, known as the invincible a few years ago. Last time I checked, he was struggling somewhere in national championships 1 or so year ago. So who is there with him at present in his journey? So that is where I think question mark comes into the equation. But it is not just about when a player wins. It's also about when a player loses, when a player is struggling, he needs that kind of support, mental support. That is where I think India also have to look at. It's not just about winners, even losers. You have to give them the kind of backing when they go through difficulty, when they're wading through a difficult period.
Yeah, some more questions that I'd
And
like to
the
take.
other the other thing, Gargi, as you start taking
Yeah.
questions, if this Olympics has been covered like this,
Hmm.
just one simple thing will mean Olympics in 2028 will go through the roof, is addition of cricket. The
Yeah.
moment you have men's and women's cricket there, think of the kind of interest that there will be in India, because you are talking about two possible gold medals in cricket. The inclusion of cricket in LA will mean that Olympic popularity in India will go through the roof.
Yeah.
Squash, yes, but cricket, the addition there. I mean, Olympic as a brand in India in terms of consumption will see a sea change in the next few years because of the inclusion of cricket. And anybody will tell you an Olympic gold medal around someone's neck, whether it is whether it is a Surya Kumar Yadav or whether it is a Shubman Gill, will make an incredible difference, right? And you will have a chance in both men and women, whether it is the Smriti Mandana team, whether it is the men's team. So LA will be enormous, will be enormous as a brand, and we can say from now. So build it from the Asian Games, from the Commonwealth Games, build it to LA, get more bodies on the line, get more money there. According to me, this will be slightly controversial. Do not invest in 2036. Do not invest in hosting of 2036 just yet. Invest in getting more medals so that you are there with 15 medals in LA and then mount the bid. So your first focus should be to become an Olympic sporting nation in terms of the number of medals. Then host YOG in 2030, and then obviously simultaneously you can start bidding for 2036. But more important than bidding for 36 is to get more athletes to qualify. Invest money there, get more medals there. You will, because the moment you put in more money and more scientific training.
I think Burita made a very good point. I'm just thinking how great it will be like to hear the names like Surya Kumar Yadav, World Cup winner, and an Olympic gold medalist or whatever medalist. It sounds so wonderful from now on. It will be really exciting how LA will be, and cricket, of course, so popular will be. Uh, the popularity will go rooftop at the LA.
Yeah. Well, we'll take some few questions before we close the show. Bapaditya Karan is saying, just like Srijesh was made the flag bearer, we should have made Vinesh the other flag bearer, as it is her last dance as well. Irrespective of CAS verdict, she has been one of the standout performers. What do you think?
I had said this again. I mean, I had said this that there was no reason to jump the gun with Manu.
Yeah.
Manu is the outstanding athlete of these games, but she had gone back. She had gone back. What was the reason to get her back in 2 days? You could have made a statement with Vinesh that the country stands with Vinesh, and
Hmm.
you have. Yesterday in Parliament, I heard the sports minister speaking about it. Clearly, the prime minister is behind Vinesh. She has tweeted now. Nita Ambani made, as IOC member, Mrs. Ambani made a very passionate plea at India House that India stands with Vinesh Phogat. The IOA repeatedly, PT Usha and the others have met. So Vinesh has become this kind of cult figure here in Paris, and uh, this is more than India. This has now become a global issue. So why not? So why not? I mean, if Vinesh was the flag bearer, it could have put more pressure. I mean, it is a symbolic gesture that look, we are backing this athlete for humanitarian reasons, for compassionate reasons. We are backing for her rights. We are backing for this is a case of human rights as well. That what a person goes through. India is making that claim in front of CAS. So why not? So these are critical things, and that's a sensible point from Bappaditya. But no, now I don't think that's possible. Manu Bhaker has rightfully earned when she's come back, and she was
Yep.
told that she's the flag bearer. And at every level, one should celebrate the Manu Bhaker journey because Manu Bhaker is very similar to Vinesh. Got castigated after Tokyo, got smashed after Tokyo, trolled and abused and ridiculed, and everything happened to her after Tokyo. She showed the mental resilience at her age to be able to come back. Now let her enjoy her moment. Now, if someone says that she's posting photographs with her mother in Paris and celebrating is wrong, and she should start, come on, boss, come on. She needs to unwind and then get back into her sport in some months' time. It is not Neeraj Chopra starts practicing the moment it is over. I've got silver, so tomorrow I will practice and I will win gold. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen in sport like that. So please, please.
Yeah, well, just at a point to that about Manu Bhaker. If you look at Manu Bhaker, if you go back to 2019 in the Munich World Cup, her pistol got jammed. Then once there was a pistol malfunction, so she has gone through lots of upheavals, lots of ups and downs. So if she celebrates a little bit after winning a couple of medals, I don't see anything wrong because for 5 years she's gone through a lot. She's been trolled a lot. Even when she was leading in the Munich World Cup, her pistol got jammed or malfunctioned in 2019. So if she's celebrating a little bit, I don't see anything wrong because once you win something, you feel like you have achieved something and you will definitely celebrate.
Yep. And final two questions. First, let's start with Kishu Patel. He's asking, what's your thought on should private entity interfere and take control of other sports for Olympics to have good facilities and no more political issues, and deserved athletes get chances?
Uh, I
Private entities
think
are already there. There are
yeah.
many private foundations already there. Reliance, for example, JSW, for
Yes.
example, Go Sports, for example, OGQ, for example. So they're there. It is a private public partnership that has to happen. That is the way forward. Look at the partnership between the Athletics Federation and, for example, a bank like HSBC, or the support that federal bank gives to athletes like Prannoy. I mean, there has to be public-private, and ultimately it's the government, the top scheme that provides the most amount of money. So the top scheme, the Mission Olympic Cell, Reliance Foundation, JSW, these are critical players. I think Pat Jindal has spent about 350 crores in the last 4 years. That's serious money. That's serious money. The government has spent serious money with the top scheme. Go ask any athlete, and you will know that that money has been spent. So I think it's not one person. It's public private together, and political issues always. You don't want a wrestling fiasco like we had. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous to see your athletes being sort of pushed along the road and all that. So such kind of stuff should be avoided for any sport.
I just like
Yeah.
to add here, top scheme is a very good scheme. I think we need to invest more at the grassroots level. The more your grassroots level is stronger, the more you'll win medals and have good performance. Why India is doing well in cricket? Our grassroots is extremely strong in cricket because that's how the ladder is made. If your grassroots is strong in the Olympic sports, you will see great amount of medals at the at all the international. We're doing well at Commonwealth and Asian Games, but at the Olympics, I think we still need much more better grassroots um, thing, and because that's the key to achieve success. If you see other
Yes.
countries, USA and all doing well, that's because they have a very very good grassroots for the Olympic sports.
Mhm. Now, we'll finish the show with this comment. Binu Joy is saying, great work by the Rep Sports team on the Olympic updates. Your efforts are unmatched and much appreciated. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
very much.
Binu.
It doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. Sport is 24/7. So yesterday, Shormishta asked me as the head of admin that what about leaves? And we said yes. Let's all sort of give leaves to the team for the next 2 weeks. But then we all come back around the 25th of August. We divide so that from 25th of August, 26th of August, the entire focus for the next 16 days will be Paralympics. And if Paralympics is not covered with the same passion and same verve as the Olympics, we are letting ourselves down. We are letting ourselves down as a society. When Sumit Antil gets that gold medal and the Rashtragan is played, Neeraj Chopra will be as happy. So the Paralympics has to be celebrated in the same way, and these stories documented in the same way. Unfortunately, in India, we will go wake up there and say, "अरे ये सुमित अंटिल है कौन? ये योगेश काठुनिया कौन है? ये अवनी लेखरा कौन है? ये शीतल देवी कौन है?" It cannot be like that. If you have to be, look at the West, look at how they will celebrate the Paralympics. In India, we cannot just get up during the Paralympics, so it is a journey. So Rev Sports will continue that journey.
I think it's not only the international. We have covered national games as well in 2022, and whatever I think the domestic will try to cover as much as possible, because that's where you get the best of the athletes and get to know their stories. I think that is also very important.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Boria, Bharat, and Abhijit, for joining. It's been a good show. We'll keep, today or tomorrow, we might see Vinesh's plea and the decision after that. So it'll be interesting to see what the court come up with. But thank you so much for joining.